At 78, Rob Reiner finally speaks up about James Garner. Rob Reiner was born Robert Reiner on March 6, 1947 in the Bronx, New York, as the son of the legendary comedian, writer, and director Carl Reiner and actress Estelle Reiner. Rob grew up immersed in the world of entertainment, watching firsthand the craft of storytelling, comedic timing, and the hard work behind the glamour of show business. His upbringing in a household filled with humor, creativity, and cultural awareness gave him a foundation that would later define his own multifaceted career. Reiner first gained widespread recognition as an actor in the groundbreaking sitcom All in the Family 1971 to 1979, where he played Michael Stivic, affectionately known as Meathead. His character became a voice of progressive values during a time of great cultural upheaval in the United States, often clashing with Archie Bunker's conservative worldview. This role not only made Reiner a household name, but also gave him the confidence and industry standing to explore his own ambitions as a director and storyteller. His work on the show earned him multiple Emmy Awards, cementing his reputation as a performer with both comedic skill and dramatic depth. By the early 1980s, Reiner transitioned behind the camera, where he would leave an indelible mark on American cinema. His directorial debut, This Is Spinal Tap, 1984, a satirical mockumentary about a fictional rock band, became a cult classic and is still regarded as one of the greatest comedies of all time. He followed this with a string of critically acclaimed and commercially successful films that showcased his versatility. Stand By Me, 1986, adapted from a Stephen King novella, revealed his gift for sensitive, character-driven storytelling, while The Princess Bride, 1987, blended fantasy, romance, and comedy in a way that has made it a timeless family favorite. In 1989, Reiner directed When Harry Met Sally, a romantic comedy that redefined the genre, with its witty script and memorable performances, including the iconic deli scene that has entered pop culture history. The early 1990s saw Reiner direct Misery 1990, another adaptation of Stephen King's work, which earned Kathy Bates an Academy Award for her chilling performance. In 1992, he delivered A Few Good Men, a gripping military courtroom drama featuring Jack Nicholson's unforgettable "You Can't Handle the Truth" speech, one of the most quoted lines in film history. Through these films, Reiner proved himself capable of mastering multiple genres, from comedy and romance to suspense and drama, while always focusing on compelling characters and strong storytelling. Over the decades, Reiner has embraced a wide range of supporting roles in film and television that showcase his wit, charm, and ability to seamlessly slip into both comedic and dramatic territory. His acting credits read like a timeline of modern Hollywood history, beginning with standout appearances in the dark comedy Throw Mama from the Train, 1987, where he proved his talent for sharp, offbeat humor, and continuing with his memorable turn in the beloved romantic classic Sleepless in Seattle, 1993, a film that remains one of the most cherished romantic comedies of its era. In Woody Allen's Bullets Over Broadway, 1994, Reiner brought his comedic timing into a period setting, while in The First Wives Club, 1996, he joined a stellar ensemble cast in a film that became a cultural touchstone for its witty take on friendship, empowerment, and reinvention. By the late 1990s, Reiner's acting choices continued to underline his versatility. He delivered a smart and knowing performance in Primary Colors, 1998, a political dramedy that explored the intrigue and scandal behind presidential campaigns, and followed that with a humorous role in ETV, 1999, a satire about reality television that was ahead of its time. On the small screen, he found a new audience years later with recurring appearances on the hit sitcom New Girl 2012 to 2018, where his portrayal of Jess's lovable, slightly eccentric father added warmth and humor to the show. He even surprised many viewers with a sharp cameo in Martin Scorsese's electrifying The Wolf of Wall Street 2013, reminding audiences of his to hold his own in a high-energy powerhouse cast. Perhaps one of Reiner's most iconic acting roles came in his own directorial masterpiece, the cult classic mockumentary This Is Spinal Tap, 1984, where he appeared as the clueless but earnest faux documentarian Marty DeBerry. His deadpan delivery and perfectly understated performance became legendary in its own right, proving that Reiner could not only craft brilliant comedy, but also embody it. Beyond Spinal Tap, he continued to step in front of the camera in his own films, including The Story of Us, 1999, where he played a key role in a thoughtful look at love and marriage, and Alex and Emma, 2001, a romantic comedy that allowed him to blend his directing style with a personal touch on screen. More recently, in his political drama Shock and Awe, 2017, Reiner took on a significant supporting role that reflected his lifelong passion for journalism, truth, and accountability, demonstrating that his acting could be as socially relevant as his directing. In addition to his more serious parts, Reiner has also displayed a refreshing willingness to poke fun at himself. He has appeared in tongue-in-cheek cameos that parody his public image, such as Dickie Roberts, former child star, 2003, where he leaned in a Hollywood satire, and the critically acclaimed series 30 Rock 2010, which thrived on self-referential humor. These moments not only endeared him to fans but also highlighted his self-awareness and playful side, proving that he doesn't take his celebrity status too seriously. Taken together, Rob Reiner's body of acting work paints a picture of a man who, even while building an extraordinary career as a filmmaker, never stopped enjoying the pure craft of performance. His filmography reflects both range and relevance, spanning comedy, drama, satire, and even social commentary, making him not just a respected director, but also a familiar and beloved face on screens big and small. Rob Reiner's personal life has been marked by two significant marriages that not only shaped his family, but also intertwined with his career in meaningful ways. His first marriage was to actress and director Penny Marshall in 1971, at a time when both were young talents on the rise in Hollywood. Marshall, who would later become famous for her role as Laverne DeFazio on the hit sitcom Laverne and Shirley, and for directing beloved films such as Big and A League of Their Own, already had a daughter from her previous marriage to Michael Henry. That daughter was Tracy, who would eventually become known as Tracy Reiner, an actress with a career of her own. While directing the romantic comedy that would go on to become a classic, he was introduced to photographer Michelle Singer. Their meeting was serendipitous, and it not only sparked a personal relationship, but also had an artistic influence on Reiner's work. In fact, their connection was so profound that it inspired him to reconsider the ending of When Harry Met Sally. Originally, the film was not intended to conclude with the central couple ending up together, but after meeting Singer, Reiner felt compelled to change it, giving audiences the heartwarming and hopeful finale that has since become legendary. This blending of his personal and professional life underscored how deeply Singer influenced him from the start. The relationship blossomed quickly, and in 1989, the same year the film was released, Reiner and Singer were married. Together, Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer built a family life that has been both rich and fulfilling. They became parents to 3 children, each of whom would pursue creative paths of their own. Their first son, Jake Reiner, was born in 1991 and has since pursued a career in journalism and acting, appearing in films like Shock and Awe and working as a broadcast journalist. Their second child, Nick Reiner, born in 1993, has channeled his talents into writing, including co-writing the 2015 film Being Charlie, which was directed by his father and drew upon Nick's own struggles with addiction and recovery, making it an especially personal project for the family. Their youngest child, Romy Reiner, born in 1997, has also embraced creativity, working as an actress and comedian, sharing her humor and perspective with a new generation of audiences. Through both marriages, Rob Reiner's family life has been deeply interwoven with his career, influencing not only the stories he told on screen, but also the way he approached them. His relationships with Penny Marshall and Michelle Singer, as well as his roles as father to Tracy, Jake, Nick, and Romy, reveal a man whose personal experiences continually fed into his work as a filmmaker, giving his stories warmth, authenticity, and heart. At 78 years old, veteran actor, director, and producer Rob Reiner has lived a life surrounded by Hollywood legends. But recently he decided to open up about someone he had long admired from a distance. James Garner, the beloved star of the Rockford Files. Reiner, known for his thoughtful candor and warm respect for his peers, admitted that he had rarely spoken about Garner before, but age and reflection had made him want to give credit where it was due. Garner, who became a household name for his rugged charm, quick wit, and subtle humor, left a deep impression on Reiner, both as a fan and as a fellow professional navigating the ever-changing world of television and film. Reiner began his comments by recalling the enormous cultural impact of the Rockford Files. Airing in the 1970s, the show wasn't just another detective series. It stood out because of the depth Garner brought to his character, Jim Rockford. James had this way of making you believe he really was Jim Rockford. Reiner said there was nothing artificial about him. You didn't feel like you were watching an actor playing a role. You felt like you were watching a real guy trying to make his way through tough situations. For Reiner, who at that time was making his mark as Meathead on All in the Family, Garner's ability to create such authenticity became a kind of quiet lesson in screen acting. Rob Reiner also pointed out how Garner's performance represented something unique in television, a hero who wasn't invincible. Rockford wasn't the typical tough, unbeatable detective. Instead, he often got knocked around, struggled with finances, and made mistakes, but always bounced back with wit and determination. He wasn't like the superheroes or the invulnerable tough guys you'd often see on TV. Rockford got beat up. He got conned. He had bad luck. But you loved him more for it. James showed us that vulnerability can be the greatest strength in acting. Reiner explained. That lesson resonated deeply with Reiner, who would later carry those same truths into his own career as a director, focusing on character-driven stories like When Harry Met Sally and A Few Good Men. Another part of Reiner's admiration for Garner came from Garner's off-screen reputation. In Hollywood, it was common to hear stories about difficult stars or egos clashing behind the scenes, but Garner consistently earned respect for his professionalism and kindness. Everybody who worked with James talked about what a good guy he was. No nonsense, no drama, just came in, did the work, and treated everyone with respect. That's a rare thing in this business, Reiner noted. For someone like Reiner, who grew up in the industry as the son of comedy legend Carl Reiner, the example of Garner reinforced the idea that true greatness wasn't just about talent. It was also about character. When discussing the enduring legacy of the Rockford Files, Reiner emphasized how the show influenced television storytelling for decades to come. Many modern detective dramas and even character-driven series owe something to the template Garner helped create. If you watch TV today, you'll see so many shows that borrow from what James did, mixing humor, real life, struggles, and drama into one character. He paved the way for that style, Reiner said. In his view, Garner's work remains timeless because it reflected real human experience rather than just entertainment formulas. Perhaps most touching, though, was Reiner's acknowledgement of how Garner impacted him personally, even without a close friendship between them. I didn't know James all that well. We weren't close friends, but watching him, learning from him, that was enough. He gave me an education just by being himself on screen. And sometimes that's the greatest gift another actor can give you, Reiner reflected. For Reiner, Garner was not only a television icon, but also a quiet teacher whose lessons continued to echo long after the cameras stopped rolling. In opening up at this stage of his life, Rob Reiner seemed intent on making sure James Garner's contributions were remembered not just as nostalgia, but as an essential part of American television history. By speaking with such warmth and clarity, Reiner honored a man who had shaped an era and whose influence continues to ripple through